Today I'm going to tell you about a sad memory that happened to me back in March. It was Thursday, March 15th, and I had a feeling I needed to go to the nursing home with my grandmother to visit my grandpa. His name was Don, and he had an illness called acute leukemia. The doctors didn't expect him to live past Christmas, but thankfully he did. I woke up early on Thursday to go with her, and I would stay with her until 10 o'clock that night. Don was entering the state where he was slowly shutting down. He couldn't eat anymore, use the restroom, and couldn't talk. For the whole day I watched him moan and shake because oxygen couldn't reach his limbs. The nurses gave him morphine to help him relax so he wouldn't be in pain. The hospice doctor came in and told us that he only had a few days left, so we need to start calling close friends and relatives. My grandma and I sat around most of the day arranging pictures for the funeral. We didn't want this nightmare to be real, but unfortunately it was. Time passed and many people came and said their final goodbyes. Nobody knew who would pass that day, but I had a feeling I'd be there when he did. We waited and waited just to see if it would improve at all. The nurses were giving him his fourth round of morphine, and my grandmother started tearing up. I took her outside of the room so we could go get the meal ticket so we could eat later that night. We stayed out of the room for a while so we wouldn't have to see him in pain. In the recreation room, they had a piano, and I decided to play the song Paradise by Coldplay to help my grandma and I relax. At about 4:45, I had this feeling I needed to go back to the room. And at that time, the hospice nurse who was watching it was frantically looking for us. She said we needed to hurry. I grabbed my grandmother's hand, and we ran back to his room. We walked into his room, and we watched him take his last breath. We were stunned. My grandmother burst into tears, and I started calling people for her. We didn't know what to think or feel at this time. His hands were still warm, and I was thankful I was actually there. I had never seen anyone pass before, and that was a moment I will never forget. I was in shock, and I didn't really know what to feel at that time. My grandma was very upset. We cried in each other's arms for a long time. After an hour or so had passed and the funeral people came and got him, friends came and we helped clean out his room. After the emotions had settled, we went to Chick-fil-A to think about the good times after an emotional day. Don and I had a lot of memories together, and he was a wonderful person. Every now and then we will visit him at the Arlington National Cemetery and think about how much he meant to us.